property tax. We have seen a steady influx in this area, in Illinois and also in Will County, of increased taxes by Democratic leadership. We need a change in leadership to put a cap on these taxes. Since we are in the top 2% nationwide, how many people in here feel that we are in the top 2% as far as crime rate or infrastructure or, reduced crime rate or infrastructure or mass transit or even our schools? We're not. I don't think we're even in the top 100. We're probably somewhere in the middle. But yet the Democrats continue to raise our taxes, and we definitely need a change of leadership at the county board level. Next thing is, I'll just touch base. As a previous chief of police in Braidwood, I feel I have some experience in addressing this issue. This issue pertains to the opioid crisis in Will County. I feel that obviously county executive is not a law enforcement position, but I feel that I can provide some direction and some insight to various law enforcement entities to deal with this problem. In Braidwood, I feel we successfully addressed the opioid problem. We went from the highest overdose death rate in the state to the lowest. We're the lowest actually for over a year and a half before the fentanyl issue started really. And lastly, I believe that the taxpayers of Will County should not be burdened with the over excessive amounts of people that illegally cross our border, and we as taxpayers throughout the state, throughout Will County, provide welfare to these people. We should be looking after our own first, and we should be looking after our veterans. These people that come here just for the sake of receiving benefits, time for them to go. And time for the state, instead of being on a race to the bottom, should be on a race to the top. And under Democratic leadership, we don't have that. And that's me, that's for all for Will County Executive. And politics is a game of addition. So as many people in here as I get to vote for me, that's a plus. So thank you. All right. I promise next time I'll all jokes.
If anybody and I love that job, but I was embarrassed, as was Steve, when we had to send out precinct letters that said, vote for Mike and Steve, don't vote for the Nazis. And that's what brought up the last time. There was no one that would step up and run with any kind of credentials whatsoever to at least give us a fighting chance. So I thought that it's time that somebody steps up with some credentials, so I did. We have a unique situation on the other side of the aisle. Dan Lipinski ran against Marie Newman last time. Marie Newman is, for lack of a better term, another AOC. She's very progressive and socialist as they come. She only lost by 2,000 votes out of 60,000 votes last time. And right now, the early polls are showing that he's going to lose to Marie Newman. If that sets up, then the RNC comes to my aid, and then we really have a path. Because it is a pretty decidedly Democratic area, but it's Union Democrats. It's not liberal Democrats. Garfield Ridge, where I grew up in the city, I've heard a lot of people already talk to me. Unfortunately, before the primary happens, they're a little scared because Madigan finds out they're supporting Lipinski does. They get a little worried about that kind of situation. But we have in Will County, Homer, Lockport, and a little piece of Crest Hill. And of course, that's because they gerrymandered the district. As a matter of fact, if you look at my district on my website, they have about a 3-block swath from Garfield Ridge to capture Bridgeport, just so they can get that piece in there. So it's about the gerrymandered as they come. And they pretty much neutered the Republicans out here by pulling us in. But there is a path, and especially if this Green So you guys know I'm pro-life and I'm pro-Second Amendment, but what's most important, I think, is that we need to win the House back so the administration can continue to do what they're doing. Steve and I were just in Washington 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, time flies when you're having fun, and we have presentations from all the different assistant secretaries of state, from Homeland Security, Education, Drug Czar, and a bunch of other people. Everything that they're doing is what you guys want to hear. They're on the right path. We also have surprise guests. We were with legislators from Indiana, Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois. Of course, because we had Indiana with us, our surprise guest was Vice President Pence. Awesome speaker. I mean, way more awesome in person than us to meet. And I mean, they've got, the administration has got us on the right path. You can't let them knock us off this path. The key is if we can get the House back, then the next 4 years will be great. Because then we can get all the stuff done, we can get a wall built, we can get all the things, the initiatives that Trump wants to do, and he's doing a lot of them already, make it a heck of a lot easier when we get the House back. So that's my goal, is to get one of those seats back. I think the RNC is looking at this as a tier 1 race right now. What Lipinski is doing is starting to lean left. He's voting about 93% of the time on the same votes that AOC is voting, because he's trying to capture some of that vote that Newman's going to get from him. So they're in a dogfight there. They'll probably spend $1 million each just in the primaries. And like I said, right now, early polls are showing that he's going to lose, which sets it up even better for us. So I will be out. We're doing our signatures as well. Steve's doing a lot of the work for me up front. Everybody in Homer and all of Lockport, unlike our county district, everybody in Lockport is eligible. We have a piece of Romeoville. We have a little piece of Crest Hill, and then everything else is Cook County. It's going to be a little tougher, but I have a lot of supporters out there already. They're behind the scenes right now. Key is if we can keep everybody out of the race on the Republican side, which looks like that's going to happen. I think this is an easy path, not to spend a lot of money, just so we can get on the ballot, and then the real fight will start March 17th.
Are you having competition for the primary?
That's what we think not right now. One of the guys that was talking about it decided not to. There was a young guy that was talking about it out of Bedford Park, but Sean Morrison, who's the Cook County Commissioner out of Orland Park, who's a Republican, is supporting me and is doing everything he can to keep everybody away. So we have an easier path to at least get to the 17th of March, and then move on from there. I'm having a fundraiser in Oak Lawn, so we can start grabbing some of those people out there, and I've got a fundraiser in Homer the 23rd. I'll leave a few sheets if you can make it. Certainly come. I just need you there. I was worried about the money from you guys. I need you there. Certainly getting money helps. We do need to at least have some front money to do a few things, so we keep our name in front, get out, do a lot of events, a lot of meet and greets. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. My brother-in-law lives in Garfield Ridge, and he contacted 5 or 6 of his friends that own bars and said, "Hey, we want to have a meet and greet." Steve, you don't want Matt to get over here. So I mean, they're afraid of that old Democratic Party out there, and they're afraid they're going to get squashed. But I know they will vote for me when they don't, when it's the Democrats that don't see the vote. So any help you can give me, I would appreciate it. If you have any questions,
Steve,
where's Steve?
petitions. Can you hand out nominating sheets for him to the committeemen that are in his district? Okay.
Yeah, what I did is I emailed out about maybe 700 people. Emails. We got an email with the petition, right?
I did.
I didn't bring.
I have
any.
hard copies.
We want you to give it to the precinct committeemen.
Oh, okay. We got some here.
Yeah, no
Okay.
hard copies.
Now, Crest Hill, you're just in 23, right? Precinct Lockport 23. That's as far as you do.
All of Lockport.
No, I mean Crest Hill.
You said
Crest Hill.
Yeah, right.
Just 23.
Yeah.
Just 23 in Crest Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much is Romeoville?
I don't think there's any Romeoville.
There's a little corner of
Is there?
Romeoville.
Where?
Yeah.
You know where?
I have to look at the numbers.
It's right around the airport. So everybody in Lockport can sign.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so.
And we need 600, we need 600 signatures. We're probably gonna shoot for 15 to 1800. We made a strategic move. All of you know the name Bert Olson, who happens to be a friend of Steve's from long past, and we've got him making sure our petition is right. If we get a challenge, it shouldn't be an issue.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Mike. The tape, Ron, survey.
Pleasure meeting. I'm a Bolingbrook resident, DuPage Township, 20th Precinct Committee person. I've been a lifelong resident for Illinois, and my father's side of the family for the better part of 150 years, and my mother's side of the family before Illinois was Illinois. Bill and I, and everybody in this room, shares the same idea that we've got to stop the foolishness in Springfield. And the only way that we're going to do that is to elect these 15 House representatives to slow down Madigan's rubber stamping people. It's gotten to be ridiculous. We have not had a balanced budget in the state since 2011. No one knew what was in the last budget, and they voted for it. We had 19 Republicans vote for that budget, and that's just got to stop. And we've got to elect people when they go there that say no. You go there to represent the people in your district. You don't go there to represent yourself. And these people to get there and decide it's a job, and maybe it is because it pays too much, and put through some of this foolish legislation. But number one, I'm going to go there to try and stop foolish spending. Number two, we are now in a stage where we're no longer an industrial society. We are a technical and service society, and we have to do something to improve our school systems. We have programs out there that we can transfer money to K through 5, which is the building block for everybody's education. If they aren't aboard by the time they're in 5th grade, they may never get aboard. We have a number of college tuition programs that monies can be transferred to K through 5, help out our educational situation. And another thing I think we should be able to do is something about property taxes. Currently have a fact-finding group down there, and one of the things that they're talking about is consolidating townships. That's something people might not want to hear, but when you're in DuPage Township like I am, and you have 1 mile of road to maintain, it's kind of difficult rationalizing that when that could be leased out, taken over by the village of Bolingbrook, a lot of things. We can do that. There's also a conversation that Illinois has twice as many school districts of any state in the United States. There's no reason that we can't have consolidated situations. Hinsdale has 2 school districts. What they pay in administrative costs for a school district for the year is a better part of $1 million, and that doesn't even take in the benefits. And so I think if we can get in there and facilitate some of the combining of the school district, there are a lot of things that we can do to eliminate or to lessen property tax, or at least slow down the growth. One of them I think we should be able to do is make sure that all referendums are on the national ballot where everybody votes. Hinsdale last term had a 160 million, I believe it was, referendum for the sports and athletics and everything else there. And it went down in the general election. They brought it back in the off-year election where they can control the vote by sending home things to student parents saying you're going to get this program cut, you're going to get this program cut if we don't get this thing, and everybody rushes out and spends the money. Why they were made at $160 million is well beyond my poor power of comprehension. But there are things that we can do. But we've got to elect people to get them. And the way we're going to elect people in this next election is to get off our butts, knock on doors, and take people to the polls with it, because we can't compete with Pritzker money. You can't buy the ads, you can't do that. So we've got to work it. It's doable. The Democrats have done a lot to cause themselves harm. I'm running against Connor. Connor sponsored the late abortion bill. That's not something to look at him twice about. I don't know what is. I thank you for your time. I didn't expect to be making this presentation. I thought Bill was gonna be making it, but I do need your help. We all need to support people out there trying to do good, and I'll be getting petitions out to Pete here in the next week or so, and look for your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
District. This is against Jennifer Bertino Terrence. As every candidate is coming out here talking about tonight, we're all really looking for a generational change. We want a tax rate where we can stay in Illinois and our families can grow and then have families and stay inside the state. We want a corporate tax structure that's going to allow businesses to grow, hire those same families that want to stay inside the state, and continue forward. We also want to have laws in place where people can have children, not have to worry about the abortions and everything else that's coming through. And what everyone is really talking about is that 2020 is a fight for the heart and soul of our state, as well as the heart and soul of our country. It's a fight against socialism. It's a fight against high taxes and fees. It's also a fight for the right for the Second Amendment. It's also a fight to keep babies alive. And that was short and sweet, and thank you so much, guys. I have petitions going out. If your state rep is Mark Batnick, or if it's Natalie Manley, who go ahead and sign the sheet. I also have additional question packets here too. If you guys want to circulate some for me, along with other candidates, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Do we know if any other Dems pulled yet? Because, Karen.
I am a retired Marine, and I currently teach political science. Thank you.
Do you want me to hand these out?
Yes, please. I teach political science at Joliet Junior College and online with Liberty University. You can't win in 43. That's one of the first comments I've heard when I started discussing running for the 43rd district. I hate to say it, but it was conservatives who said it. I had to tell her she didn't know what she was talking about.
I've got a couple, Bob. Thanks.
Historically, 43 has been a Democrat district. It was drawn to be saved. But in this election, in 2020, it is in play. And let me tell you why. As I said, I teach college. I talk to a lot of young people. They're not happy with the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party's values no longer represent the average person in Illinois. They're not happy about the taxes. They're not happy about the push in abortion. And they're ready for a change, but we have got to give them a positive change to make that difference. We can do it. I need 12,000 more votes than we got in the district in 2016. With the change in the political climate, that is a manageable number. This is now a winnable district for the Republican Senate. Illinois organizations are, so far, the ones I've talked to have been absolutely thrilled to hear that I'm running. I'm getting support from the Illinois Family Action, the Illinois Conservative Union, the Young Democrats, Young Republicans are getting behind me. The Illinois Senate Republican Committee is also behind me now and giving me a lot of support. So the support is stacking up quickly to make this a really good race. In fact, I'm getting all my legal support from the Illinois Senate Republican Committee. They're putting multiple lawyers behind to make sure that I have everything in line to make this a positive run. Now, I need 2,000 signatures to get on the ballot. Well, actually, I only need 1,000, but as you know, the Democrats are going to go after our signatures, right? So I need to double that number. I need to get 2,000. The ISRC are going to give me my petitions tomorrow morning. They were finishing it up tonight when I talked to Brian Burian. So expect to see that. I'll send that to Pete Delaney, okay? And I ask that you take it and run with it in your districts that are in my, your precincts that are in my district. Okay, so what am I fighting for? We have to go after the taxes. The taxes are killing us. I like to say it this way. Illinois bet on the Democrat policy, but when people started leaving, the Democrats decided to double down on stupid. We need to take advantage of that and push back hard, but we need people like Tom, Ron, and myself in the legislature that we can push back and make taxes more reasonable for the people who still live here. We need to push back on the moral front. The abortion law is absolutely ridiculous. And I know I'm speaking to people who, it's like preaching to the choir. Y'all agree with me, I get that. Also, I want to see support for the infrastructure without the burdensome payments and taxes on the people. So education, of course, is a very big concern of mine. And I want to see that we are a positive society that is going to work for our future and our children's future. All right, questions? All right, thank you for your time.
Raise it 4 to 8 cents. That's on top of the state of Illinois. And like was said earlier, we don't need the money. Well, all the Republicans that spoke different, we all said different things. And Mike came up with one that they really didn't like, because I was watching their faces. Mike said, why don't we just ask the people with a real referendum? Because when I told them about my Facebook referendum, they thought it was a big referendum. I did a Facebook poll, and there were 1,700 votes on it, 95% against the gas tax. That means Democrats are voting too, because I did it on the Will County News. That's where all the trolls are. All right? And one of the trolls was there. She introduced me to her. Okay. But anyway, Mike came up with a good solution. Let's ask the people. If it's going to affect everybody in the county, it shouldn't be voted on by 26 people on a board. It should go to everybody that lives here. So Mike hit a home run. So that's, that was probably the biggest thing I got out of this meeting, was that Mike said, we got to do a referendum. And now, hopefully, our caucus will be carrying his message forward and just laying it out and keep saying that. And so when people start hearing that they're getting a gas tax because the members of the Democratic caucus want it, maybe they'll chicken out. Maybe.
Yeah, that's why I've been on my phone here. I'm trying to get a press release out for tomorrow saying that the Republican caucus opposes any new gas tax in the county. And here are the numbers. We get $9 million a year from motor fuel tax. And we're spending about 18 to 20 million of RTA tax money right now on roads. Those are the two things we get. With the new gas tax and the new bond issue that's going to happen, we're going to get an additional $10.2 million for roads. And yet they want to put a 4-cent tax on so we can get 14 million more. And what our contention is, number one, is they can't build roads fast enough. You need to do right away. You need to do all of these things. Yes, you got to start, but they couldn't spend this money fast enough. But we did uncover what the ultimate goal is. If we get additional motor fuel tax, and this is unfortunate for the county engineer because I think he's a dupe in this, and I called it out today. If we get that additional $14 million, they can change the resolution that says RTA tax money is only used for public safety. and they can change it to say it's used for operations. And now they start taking that money from RTA tax and use it for operations. So no additional roads would get built with it. They just want to play a shell game to move money over intentionally. So that's why we're going to get the press release out tomorrow. Public Works is going to be having, we didn't have to vote on anything today, it was just discussion, but there will be a vote at Public Works to move it to county, and their intention was to vote it at county. I think if we keep pushing this advisory referendum, they're going to back off. Because people are going to start seeing this thing, wait a second, you just got hit with 19-cent tax, and now you want to put 4 to 8 cents more on top, for what? So hopefully this will hit the tomorrow.
But Madam, it's suggestion in that press release, are you saying exactly what that additional 4 cents? We people hear 4 cents, okay, 4 cents, but what are we already paying on that already? Is it 15, 25 cents? And then you turn around and add another 4 cents, we have that 30.
19 cents from the state, but not.
We were paying 19.
We were paying 19, now we're paying 38.
Yeah, we're at 38 almost.
So
they doubled.
Yeah, so add that to it, because people see the pennies and they're, you know, we're dying by deaths of 1,000 cuts.
Yes.
Add that entire amount in there and say, now, what is it looking at?
38 cents.
And you're getting closer to 50 cents a gallon on taxes. And we haven't even talked about any of the cities or the local cities that are turning
They all
around.
have this, and we're getting those rates too. And the other thing is it's a regressive tax. This hits the low income and the seniors the most.
Absolutely.
Because they're using the same gas that you're using to go to work. So it hits the lower income people, which the Democrats are always touting that's what they're all about, helping the lower income people, just like this progressive tax.
Helping us to
Still
the
getting-
poorhouse.
Right, exactly.
If I could just say something, working at the county fair, we have the survey, and you mentioned the progressive tax. Everybody that got to that question, they're like, what's a progressive tax? What are you talking about? That's just for the rich people, right? That's what they're telling us, it's just for the rich people. So one thing that people need to remember and what they can say is, so who defines rich, who defines fair? And that kind of, when I would say that to them, they'd be like, oh, I mean, so that can change. It's an open checkbook. They get that tax passed, it's an open checkbook.
They can change the
They
income
can
brackets.
change the
Right,
bracket,
yeah,
they
well,
can change
the
the percentage. Anytime they want, so that is one thing that we really have to push and really have to educate people about. One of the worst things we do as Republicans is educate people.
And Mike didn't say that it gets indexed every year, so it goes up every year. You know, so, you know, there's a lot involved
19
with it.
cents is gonna grow. And you know, I gotta give them props on one thing, they know how to name stuff.
Oh,
The reproductive health act, there's nothing healthy about it. Or the fair tax, and there's nothing fair about it. We gotta come up with some good damn names.
Yes, sir.
That's what we're missing out on.
Yeah, we are.
Well, they actually stole the fair
Fair
tax.
tax name from the group of another group.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've been around for a long time. I'm really hoping that they sue and win against Pritzker for that, because the fair tax is a national
It was a national
initiative.
sales tax.
Right. It would take away the income tax and truly be a fair tax. So rich would pay a lot more. There's no out for it. And illegal immigrants would pay their fair share as well as they buy, you know, whatever supplies they're gonna buy, food, clothes, whatever. They actually stole that name to use it because it sounds good. But there's nothing fair about it.
How many people actually knew about the fair tax prior to, you know, the actual real one?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No?
Again, this goes back to the whole messaging by the party, and it was something that a lot of Republicans, let's face it, we've got a lot of Republicans that are out in D.C. and in Springfield that did not want that fair tax either. Why? Because it was on consumption, and they used the tax code in order to do what? Punish and go after those that they want. The fair tax would literally eliminate, what is it, the federal tax code is something like 300,000 plus pages?
Not to mention the budget of the IRS.
Yeah. That's the question. We need to help actually frame these arguments. When we find out about this information, help these folks hear it and spread this information. When Mike sends out this press release, every single person in this room should be sharing. It is very important to enlighten the electorate. That's our job.
I did a live video on Facebook for this meeting, so if you want to see it, just go to go to the Will County news site, you'll see it. Go to the one that Gronkowski runs, Will County, Illinois Republicans. I put it on all of the sites, so you'll be able to actually watch the whole video. The sound isn't as good as Grant's. I use my iPhone, but we had like 500 views on it this afternoon. So it's getting out there. People are seeing it. And so everybody who's interested in what the Democrats are saying, listen, because they're all in favor of it. All of us. So it's not good. They do control the board.
Thank you, Steve.
Diesel mechanic, fireman. Been in Lockport now for, I think this is my 11th year. In 2 different houses. Just kind of disgusted with what's going on in the state and our country, and it's time for me to step up and try and change something. Try and do some part to correct all the wrongs that have been going on.
Just the red pill.
Yeah.
So, you're interested in being a committee person, right?
Yes.
We'll slow it down by getting, just pushing things down the road, try not to talk about past everything up here yet. So it seems that we get things at the last minute before meetings and what it's.
We're voting on that tonight. We got a water meeting?
No, water meeting's Monday.
No, I mean, Joliet.
Oh, the Joliet will be over tonight?
I believe I heard that.
Okay.
The stipulation of Joliet is just to have what Greg is saying, and they're also working on Will County. So Will County is basically going to be getting this, make sure that they get funding to help out the city of Joliet. So the money is not really coming from the city of Joliet. Will County got involved with this too, so. But tentatively,
Yeah.
But Will County's been
It's one of them
meeting.
block grants.
Okay, but Will County's been the one
We
doing all this.
manage it more or less,
Okay.
but we've already voted to do it.
Okay, well,
So-
good.
So everything's in the works to go ahead and do it. Other than that, they did get the garbage program that got approved by on the ballot last year. So now unincorporated areas of Lockport are under a single collector. It seems to be saving some people money. They're still working the bugs out, but it actually was something that was put together. It does help the removal to save money on their garbage removal. And I got to put it to the Fairmont residents. But some of the other people, the Democrats, did a good job of being active and taking part in the process. It was great to see the people there at the meetings that were actually bringing logical arguments to government to approve this. So that was another good thing that's going on there. Other than that, our supervisors adding program after program after program in our Ltro Hall of the township office, and it's getting a little
Out of control?
out of
You're saying
control.
getting out of
He
control.
just wants to find a way to drive right in. And he's,
Increase payroll? Is that what you mean?
He wants to increase payroll.
Got it.
We're gonna be getting rid of the water department, and I think we should be getting rid of some of the staff along with the water department. Other than that, is there anything you wanna add to that, Barb?
This pretty much covers it, other than, like Greg said, as far as Ron bringing in programs, we always thought this was supposed to be a government building, but basically it's become a, community center, which that's what we thought the Park District built was, a real nice community center outside the, fitness center. But the reason why everybody's coming to us is because their supervisor doesn't have the, backbone, so to speak, to ask anybody for money to come in and help. When your building starts getting to the point where he has to hire an extra custodian to come in and clean up after groups that come in here and don't pay rent and use the building for free and cause a mess, then it becomes a problem, in at least some of our eyes.
I'd like to suggest something to you, Greg, and you, Barb. First of all, I'll say bravo for pushing back. But I'd like to suggest we continue to do that, even when it looks superfluous, it looks like you're pushing against a brick wall, and it's pointless to even push back. It seems, push back anyway, and here's why. Not only, as you pointed out, it makes the other couple of trustees think about a little depth, a little cognitive function is healthy right on board, but more than that, because they're going to, like, we talk about rubber stamps, they're going to follow, who's lead. But here's where it really matters. Because of the work that Grant Spooner is doing, making sure that those meetings are sent to the homes of everyone in the township, even if it's not consistently delivered to the other municipalities, at least Lockport, the city of Lockport gets to see in their homes, or have a choice to see it, and there's more viewers than you think. They get to see and hear the argument. They get to see or hear the other side of the point. Play it for their benefit, like you're doing that. Keep up the good work, both of you. Thank you.
Well, just about every meeting, the general assistance budget, or general assistance spending is what really kills me.
Yeah.
We give away general assistance, basically, the process maybe 3 or 4 applications a month. And we have monies that are given away for general assistance are about maybe $1,000. and probably a maximum of about $1,000 a month. But the administrative cost for that is about $7,000 a month.
Sounds like government. Yeah.
And Ron has no excuse for it. And he asked me, where do you want me to take that money? He wanted to just put it into another budget instead of putting it in general assistance. And I said, well, what does the person do that's doing general assistance? Every other township, the supervisor is the only person that's doing general assistance. He doesn't have a person that's paid $60,000 a year working 27 hours a week doing general assistance.
For the small amount of applications that come in, somebody can do that probably within an hour or two, instead of paying $7,000
Right.
a month.
So we need next election, we need to get a person to run for supervisor, a strong candidate that can win. And we've got the support to go ahead and take this township back.
Good. Well, people are, I mentioned people are watching that public television channel, almost like, even when they feel like there's not much they can do, it's almost like they can't resist looking like you would, slowing down in traffic to look at the car wreck, You're looking to see what the wreck is all about, So there's viewers. So play to it.
Okay, thanks, Greg and Barb. Hey, George, you want to give us a report on what's going on with the Will County Republican?
Sure.
It's all about lighting, George.
That's twice. I was speaking with a friend of mine. She was the precinct commissioner, and she called crying me a couple months ago, and she's literally moving out. And she's upset that she has to leave the state where she grew up in, and the friends and the family that she grew up in order to continue for her and her family to survive. And it's getting difficult when we have individuals like that sitting in supervisory positions. Because, sure, that loud enough, Steve? Got you covered. If we don't start building up from the ground, and I mean school board, township positions, to actually create someone to run in those positions, prepare to run in these areas, to remove these individuals so that you can actually make some serious changes, we will continue to bleed people. And so long as good voters are moving out because they have the opportunity to, it will be left with the rest of us to maintain the weight and bear the weight of the taxation that's coming down. When we as Republicans turn around and support jobs that actually pay $60, $70, $80,000 a year for a part-time position, and we don't push back on it, I can't help but ask, well, who the hell are we? And honestly, we're supposed to be that opposition party, and we've lost our fight, we've lost our courage, because unfortunately, we filled our ranks with a lot of individuals that only want those positions themselves, that want to make money themselves, instead of, like most of us in this room, make our money from the private sector. My company shut down one of their locations in Will County because they fear a lot of the nonsense and the changeover that occurred. Instead, they built in Indiana because it was cheap. So I ended up going to work for a different company simply because I didn't want to have to drive all the way over into Indiana. The traffic sucks because that's where everybody is coming in from, and we're paying the brunt of it. One of the things that we miss out is getting information out to our voters. And there's a system that I have been pushing throughout the county. It's a data system, a real data system, unlike GOP data, which a lot of candidates in here can attest to, that trying to get access to it is next to impossible if you don't kiss the ring of someone within one of the state organizations, or the data is just flat out wrong and crooked. Just so that y'all know, I'm listed as a white man in GOP data.
You're in the second district now, because you just got the text, so yeah.
I got a text from Tom's Senate district. I'm over in 15, on the other side of the county, east side of the county. But that's the way that GOP data is set up, with basically fraudulent information. My man Nick, when I looked him up, they have you listed as Latino.
File tomorrow.
That's the system that we've been dealing with. So it becomes very hard to reach our people, reach our voters, and actually tailor a message to any of those specific individuals. Because if you're looking for folks over in the 49th district, you're sending messages to someone over in the 15th. What do I know about the 49th? What am I going to do with a piece of literature or a robocall or a text message from somebody from the 49th? Delete. I'm not even going to pay attention to it. Well, I'm going to find somebody over in the 49th to, to forward it to. But I shouldn't have to get that information. This is the plan. And I'm raising funds through the Will County Republican Organization. And I'm asking that each of the township, Annie up as well, to put forth information so that you can actually get real information. So that you can actually know who your voters are. You'll get their name, their address. You'll know not only their home phone numbers, but their cell phone numbers. So then, when you get ready to send out a robotext, you're actually contacting the right individual. You'll know if this person is actually voted in absentee by the different shade of color, or if they're an early voter. And does that matter in these races today? How many votes did we get our ass kicked by this last election? By the absentee ballots that were dropped off? In the beginning, that was the first week. That first week they dropped off 10,000 absentee ballots. 10,000. Because they knew who they were reaching for. And they went to the door and got to them first. We have to wait for the Will County Clerk at the end of Friday to send us that information. With this, you don't have to wait any longer. We've got a chance to either wake up and get smart like they have been doing for the last 15 years in this last 32 years with Madigan in charge. Or we'll continue to lose good folks and move out, and the rest of us pay the tax burden. This system is costing each precinct commitment $50. I've got 3 large donors that are looking to try to shave off of that. If in fact they actually come through, this entire program for Will County is $65,000. If they come through, it's literally going to cut off half of that responsibility. So instead of 50, it might only cost each of you 25. You think it's worth it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How soon will those be available?
As soon as we can actually pay the man and get the system.
George, are those in digital also?
So he's working on a digital platform. One of the reasons why he prefers the book on this is for one good reason. When you go and you walk in, or Nick is out somewhere, and he gets his books back, he can actually see any detailed information that somebody actually wrote on there. We can actually list if this person has ever signed a petition before. And we know how difficult it is to get someone to actually sign a petition if you're not having a petition party or asking the same people in the same room over and over again. But if you know who's actually signing petitions in your area, you can actually go and find them and knock on the door. My name is George Pearson. I'm your precinct committeeman in the area. I know that you signed the precinct last time for Nick Road. Well, he's back on the ballot again this round. Would you be willing to help get him on the ballot once again? You'll have that information. But you don't have that in jail if you die. You're definitely not going to get it from felony Ferry over at the Clark Service. You can also find out if the person puts a sign in their yard. How many people would like to know how many places you can actually go and put signs right now? Anybody else tracking that? You think it's worth $25, $50? I can't hit it.
Yes.
We've got to get excited, people. It's now. Come hell or high water, this is the wave of the future. Data. Knowing is half the battle. That's what we were always taught in the Navy. Yes, sir.
I pledge $250.
Thank you, Nick. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Right on. Down the road, maybe more. All right, you'll match. That's $500. To get them asking, at you candidates out here, you present something to somebody, and 9 out of 10, it'll make your job a whole lot easier when you're trying to raise funds. This is a business plan.
It is.
You have to give your donors, excuse me, I hate that word donor, because normally I donate to the Salvation Army. I donate to my child's school. I'm looking for investors, because this is long term. I want to grow this, and that's always the question. So when you're asking someone to contribute to your campaign, give them a plan. And it'll make it a whole lot easier to raise those funds. Questions? Comments? Concerns?
Yeah, I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
And it's about the number one concern for everyone is just the taxation. I just got this in today's email from the Illinois Policy.org. It says a comprehensive analysis of state data released just about 5 days ago reveals Illinois' 2 massive income tax hikes since 2011 have failed. In other words, the state's net position deficit more than quadrupled to $189.1 billion from the $43.6 billion from 2011 to 2018, and a 7 or shall we say 8-year stretch, according to the Illinois 2018 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. State government's net position is similar to an individual's net worth, as we know. These figures on their own actually understate how much Illinois' fiscal health worsened the year following the state's record-breaking income tax in 2017. That's because they were restated, largely in order to calculate the true cost of state employees' health care and liabilities for the first time, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so the point is, the liabilities, the deficits increased 4 times, quadrupled. In other words, the increase in taxation did not do what they claimed it was going to do.
It never does.
It never does. We know that.
All they did was increase spending.
Perfect example. There was a gas a committee today with Will County Court to try to vote on a gas tax increase. How many of you knew that? Coming through Will County.
Gas tax increase.
A gas tax increase. Now, what I was told, there's no need for it because there's already extra funds that will be coming in automatically. And again, they didn't spend all of what they had last time. So what is the purpose of a tax increase?
Well, I think the answer would be with Ron Alberico, the supervisor. Same thing, right? Let's get more. Why not? Because you know what? It seems to be the climate where if you ask, you get. And in this case, the 5%, they don't even need to ask. That's a given. There's no referendum or discussion about it.
Democrats right now are challenging Ray Tuminello. He's got two of the most leftist individuals I've ever seen put out garbage. I'm looking at his pages and some of his responses on there. I'm like, where are these people coming from? I mean, they're breeding like cockroaches right now. I don't know what else, no other way to explain it.
Yeah, turn the lights
Literally.
on. Turn the lights on.
Exactly.
That's what we gotta do.
Here's the question. One of the comments on that page was, well, we need to raise the taxes in order to create more jobs. The question becomes, what type of jobs is she trying to create? I get up every morning without fail, 5 a.m. to be out the door no later than 6:37, in between, depending on how fast I get my daughter out to drop her off at school. But I'm up, starting to work at my desk around 6 a.m. to get ready for my day. And by the time I get done, especially on wet days like this, fighting traffic all over the state, and getting back to a meeting to come encourage you good folks, and to come to a meeting. They're at home from their government jobs, talking about they need a tax increase, they need a pay raise, they need more benefits. I'm sick of this crap. I didn't get a pay increase. My taxes are steady going up. My roads are garbage because the folks that are actually being placed in these positions don't know what the hell they're doing. They still have to hire an outside contractor to come in and lay asphalt. Why do we have these commissions? Why do they exist? We're paying people simply because they're friends and family just to give them a job, and we should be fighting against this nonsense because that's the argument you need to be taking to the folks and the voters out there. Does your relative work for the government right now, getting a nice, juicy, fat paycheck like that? Don't you have to get up every single day? You can find that information out when you're talking to that voter, what exactly they do, so that you can frame your argument and ask them exactly that. Because of course you don't want to go to no teacher. Of course you don't want to make that statement to an EOT worker. Of course you don't want to make that statement to somebody working for the county board, because of course that's what they want. But if you know what they do for a living, you can help frame the argument, you can help change their mind about how the hell they vote. I think I've said it. Thank you, George.
Thank you, George.